Listen, everybody needs a fairy godmother, just somebody to look out for them. Some people call me their fairy smoke mother, others their internet big sister, but you can call me Hannah, the host of Smoke Sesh. So come hang out, let's light up and talk everything there is to life. The good, the bad, the ugly, the embarrassing. I've got a story for it all. Hello, baddies of the world, and welcome back to the internet's favorite smoke sesh. My name is Hannah, your host, and I'm so excited to be back with all of my hotties today. How the hell are we all doing? Mental health check-in. The day I'm actually recording this is on Monday, which is the day of the full moon. I hope you guys survived that one. It was a full moon in Cancer. And listen, when it comes to astrology, spirituality, whatever you want to involve yourself in, there are no rules and regulations. So if you're still feeling like the weight of the full moon on Monday, on Tuesday, that's very normal. Full moons are very powerful. They do have kind of like a draining energy if you do not handle them well. So especially with this full moon in Cancer, if you need to up the self-care, if you need to take time to take care of your mental health checklist, make sure you are doing okay in every category that you possibly can. Personally, that is the best thing that you can possibly do. I love my Cancers. They are very high emotional people. They are very in tune with themselves and their emotions, sometimes a little too much, but that's okay. But definitely, if you can do one thing this week for yourself, some sort of self-care routine, self-care trick to make yourself just feel a little bit better, I highly recommend doing so. But I hope you guys had a wonderful full moon. I definitely did not sleep at all. I don't know what it is about full moons. Me and my boyfriend both get this way, but the night of the full moon, we don't sleep at all. Like, we both can't sleep. We're tossing, we're turning. Even my cat couldn't sleep. Like, I was just going through it. I was hot, then I was cold. I'm on my period, so I'm sweating, and the cramps were hitting. Oh my God, it was just too fucking much. And then my poor cat, he's like waking up in the middle of the night and eating way too much fucking food and then throwing up. I'm like, oh wow. So best believe I am a teensy weensy bit sleep deprived. Those do make for really fun episodes because the lack of energy being supplemented by caffeine really gets the brain going into new and fun avenues. So best believe this will be a fun, silly little episode. Whenever I'm on my period and I'm feeling like down in any sort of way, I kind of like to supplement a little bit in some sort of avenue. Today was throwing on a giant fucking fur coat and at the very least doing my makeup and straightening my hair. That is the most I can do today, and honestly it is making me feel a little bit better. I'm also going to go get dinner with the girls tonight, have a little girls night. I haven't seen them in a while just because we've all been, you know how it gets with friends, especially as an adult. You really have to be understanding that like shit gets crazy for people and you just gotta like give them time and space to handle their business when they need to. Don't take it personally. Like, you'll eventually get back together. It's no big deal. So we're gonna go out, get a little dinner tonight, hang out with the girls, chit chat, see what's up with them. Hopefully come home, do a face mask, and get a full 8 hours sleep. That is what's on Hannah's to-do list today. Hopefully you can take some of my self-care inspiration and apply it to yourself. I did do a big write-up on the Cancer full moon, what to expect, how it might be affecting you guys on the Patreon. If you guys want to join the Patreon, come hang out with me and the girlies. We have our fun little Smoke Sesh club over there, patreon.com/smokeseshshoddy, and I just lowered prices, so now is the time to join. Okay, I was like, these prices a little insane. I'm tired of subscriptions going up. Girl, trust me, I feel you on that. We're lowering every tier. I also do a Patreon only podcast every Thursday. So if you want your question answered every single week, I answer every single question on the Patreon. Come join. $7 a month, $9 a month if you want extra smoke with me content. What's better than that? But thank you to all my patrons. Thank you to all my girlies who are listening. There's so many new people joining as well. So buckle up, strap in, because this episode, I have a feeling, is going to get a little silly. Last episode was our New Year's episode. We really talked about some inspiration, New Year's vibes. But today, I'm feeling slightly unhinged and a little bit more chaotic than usual. So you know what? fuck it. Let's get into your crazy questions and see what you guys have going on. Someone said, girl, I can't wait for summer. I can't take this much longer. Me as fuck, especially waking up this morning to a sheet of ice covering everything that I own and a high of -2. Huh? Hello? We just got our biggest snowstorm in the past 5 years in Kansas City. To be fair, growing up, I remember getting big ass snowstorms. I'm talking feet of snow, missing school for a week, crazy shit. And then we kind of stopped having that. Honestly, most of high school and the 5 years after that, girl, don't ask me. I can't keep track of time. We really didn't get any snow. I mean, we got snow, but it was maybe a couple inches here and there. And trust me, when it comes to snow, inches do matter. They will not shut down school for a couple inches here in the Midwest. No, no, no. It needs to be negatives, and the toddlers can't walk to the bus stop in the snow. A couple inches, they're not canceling shit. We got 1.5 feet here, plus ice, plus freezing rain. I have been inside. I have not gone anywhere. I think the only thing I did was grocery shopping. And honestly, even doing that, I was like, wow, I feel myself filling with whimsy and joy just because I am going out and doing something other than pacing in my house like a caged animal. I cannot do winter. I am not a winter girly. I am a summer child for life. And winter, I can usually do the first couple months, the November, the December, because you have all the holidays that make it so worth it and so cozy and so comfy. But January's hard. January's hard because that's when all the snow comes, truly. That's when the real winter hits. And there's nothing really to look forward to. There's no holidays. I mean, Valentine's Day is coming up, but that's a February issue. We got all of January to not go stir crazy. So ways that I have been trying to help myself, stay as mentally stable as possible is planning for the future. Ooh, I love planning for the future. I love making goals. I love a to-do list. Mostly, I love a vacation. So finally, my boyfriend got vacation hours or days. He was like, these are the days I put in for start looking at places. Tell me where you want to go. Yes, sir, I will. Absolutely. So I finally started researching places for my birthday, where I want to go then, how many days, what's going on, and started researching also for his birthday. So simply planning for the future, coming up with new summer plans, summer trips, even if it is a weekend getaway. Last birthday, I didn't even do a big trip. Usually I do a big trip. I've been to Mexico. We did a week in Mexico. We've done a week in LA. We've done a week here, week there. For my birthday last year, I was feeling pretty low key, not in a big birthday celebration mood. Really just wanted to focus on chilling, relaxing, being in nature. So we just spent a weekend in Arkansas, which is a 4-hour drive from here. Drove out there, went swimming. I dressed up one night, had a good meal. We used the hot tub, drove home. Perfect. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. And to be fair, the money we spent that weekend, I mean, Airbnbs are probably the most expensive thing. But if I were to stay home and do a crazy birthday here, it probably would have been the same cost as just spending a chill weekend out with my boyfriend. So you can make these things happen, cut back on the online shopping, cut back on that extra Starbucks cup every morning or whatever you spend too much money on. And I guarantee you can make those big dreams, those big goals that the future you will really appreciate and get to enjoy possible. So planning for the summer, coming up with ideas for the summer and what I'm going to do then. Another great way is just going on little adventures. I know during the winter you hate to get out, blah, blah, blah. But even running errands, I was like, wow, okay, I'm getting out in public. I get to see people. I get to have these small little interactions. I get to get out of my normal routine. It feels good. Sure, it's chores and running errands. Yeah, not the most fun thing ever, but still I'm being able to kind of broaden my horizons in that sort of aspect. So if you can get out of the house even to go to an art supply store and just peruse and maybe buy one $3 pen, come home, do a little bit of art, go to the grocery store, get some fun little ingredients to make yourself a warm, cozy soup. Go to your local art museum, go to your local free indoor activity and enjoy that thing. That truly helps me get through the winter. Making little plans with your friends to go out to like a cute little happy hour, small little dinner. Doesn't cost a lot of money. You can spend a couple hours there, get a chit chat with friends, broaden your horizon that way. And then also at home, some small things that I've been implementing that gets me out of the routine of like dishes, laundry, vacuum, dishes, laundry, vacuum is like I'll do a 10-minute stretch once a day, maybe like a 15-minute one if I'm feeling crazy, maybe a 10-minute abs video if I'm feeling wild, girl. Like, it's simple. Literally nothing but just moving my body indoors and stretching, feeling my muscles move, allowing my body to move and stretch and get rid of the restlessness in that sort of way really, really helps. I usually do that right before lunch. So like while lunch is cooking, I'll do my 10-minute stretch to kind of like forget about the hunger for a second and then have something to look forward to afterwards. And it really has become a part of like my favorite thing of the day. It's been really nice. And you don't need a fancy yoga mat. I do it like on my floor, on my rug. Very simple, very easy, very free activity. You can find any of these videos on YouTube, whatever calls to you. Just do it. Move your body. You will be thankful for it. And then also get into some books, girl. Get into the fantasy. Like, we're losing TikTok. You cannot be in that fantasy world anymore. Get into your own fantasy. I don't care if they're like smut novels. I don't care if like what you're reading, but if you can just like escape into another world through the act of reading, it is so fulfilling. Not only are you going to be smarter for it, you're going to be more literate, you're going to learn new words, you're going to practice your creativity and allowing yourself to enter this fantasy land. I feel like people and adults especially have really lost the capability to do that. Some different ways that you can kind of keep yourself from like actually going, simply like attention span is down. That's why I'm not against TikTok being banned. I know a lot of people are like, no, like sobbing over it. Girl, on my 2 accounts, I probably have like 500,000 followers on TikTok. Do I post there? Not really. Do I care that it's getting banned? No, because you have to think about like in the grand scheme of things. Like, I know they're not doing it for the betterment of us. Duh, it is all a money and government issue. But if you think about it, people have felt so more aggressive and invasive and combative, I think, due to TikTok and a lot of habits that they've picked up on TikTok. And I don't think that is good. I really don't think that is good. Do I think YouTube Shorts or Instagram Reels is any better? Probably not. But I think the habit of scrolling so much on those apps is less than that of TikTok. I don't know. It is kind of wild and dystopian to see people like sobbing and screaming over losing an app. I get if you have like company ties to it and you're going to lose out on money. Sure. Very valid. But just the overall general user of being like, no, my app, my one of 8 apps that I circle throughout a day. It's like, honestly, I think we will be better off for it. Maybe we should all pick up a book instead with that newfound free time, because I know the amount of hours that I spend scrolling, not good. And the one trick I've learned when you feel like you don't have enough hours in the day is to do more with your day. Unfortunately, that is the trick. If you're sitting here scrolling and you're like, oh, I just wish I did more, I wish I had more time, you have the time. You just gotta get up and fucking do it. Unfortunately, girl, I am so sorry to break it to you. You just have to fill your day with things to do and you will feel accomplished. I know. How awful and horrible is that? Me telling you like, no, you actually have to do something. Hannah, that's not the advice we wanted, but unfortunately it is the real world advice that you do need to hear. There's nothing more I loathe than getting into my car and running errands, but as soon as I'm in that car and I'm moving and grooving, I have my little playlist on, I have my little podcast, I have a cute fluffy coat, like I'm chilling, I start having a good time. Unfortunately, like ripping the band-aid off and just starting to do something is the hardest part. Maybe fortunately. So just get out there and do it. Pick up those new habits, try that new hobby. It will affect your life in a positive way. And set goals for the future. It keeps you strong in the now and keeps you moving towards and excited for what's to come. P.S. If you need a good recipe, there's nothing better than breakfast. Are you guys a breakfast girl? I'm definitely a breakfast girl. It is my favorite meal of the day. You can put me in IHOP and like I will feel like I'm eating a 4-course meal, like a 5-star Michelin star style meal. I don't know what it is about like pancakes and bacon, but like satisfied. But I just did a Japanese souffle pancake recipe. Have you seen those on Instagram or literally anywhere? I've been researching Japan trips, but they have these thick ass jiggly pancakes, and I'm like, how the hell do you make those? Way easier than you might think. You probably will want like a hand whisk to do it. I did it, but I felt like my arm was gonna fall off. Very easy though. I guarantee you have the ingredients in your fridge right now. Highly recommend making. Probably took me 20 minutes. But that is up on my Instagram. If you need a fun little Tuesday activity, boredom activity, make yourself some pancakes, girl. Someone asked how to get a grip on my PMSing because oh my god, I feel like a cunt sometimes. Oh, you're talking to Queen Cunt here. Listen, unfortunately, like I only take it out on people that I feel like is a safe space, which obviously I'm not harboring that safe space by being a cunt, but luckily me and my boyfriend have like an understanding and agreement. Like, listen, if you're gonna nut in me raw, like I can have a mental breakdown while I'm PMSing. Like obviously my hormones are being affected by my birth control, which is making me a little bit crazier than usual. Okay, I will say the IUD makes me way less crazy than I was on the pill. Like the pill actually made me want to take myself out of the game, but the IUD doesn't make me feel that way. I just get like a little bit more testy. Definitely like very emotional the couple days before my period. And of course you never know, like, oh, that's what's going on. You're like, why am I crying all of a sudden? Why am I so stressed out all of a sudden? And then your period hits and you're like, oh. So personally, instead of having that jump scare once a month and not tracking anything, I love tracking my period. I love tracking it. I have this app called Stardust. I think it's great. It's a great app. Of course, it is a period tracking app. They do advertise that they don't sell your data to companies. Love that. But also, like, if there is an investigation opened up for some whatever reason and the police want to access your records, they can access that app. It does not protect you in that sort of way. I don't know what you girlies are getting up to, but like, let me just put that information out there. But personally, I use it pretty often. I love using it as a period tracker because not only can you track your period, but you can also track your moods. You can track your acne, you can track your cramps, you can track your cravings. So I'll check it maybe like once every other day, but it'll tell me like what hormones are rising in my body, what I might be feeling. I would compare it to like the co-star of period apps. You know when you get on co-star and you're like, damn, this app is reading me to filth. That is basically what this app does to me, but it's more directed towards my hormones and also keeps that period of becoming a jump scare every month. Oh my god. But yeah, when it comes to PMSing, being aware of it helps me be less like insane and more rational when it comes to my thoughts. But also I think when it comes to like the high hormones, sometimes the best thing you can do is give in to them. When I am like on the verge of tears and you like try and force that gate in front of the tears, that brick wall in front of the tears, and you're like, no, don't cry, don't do it. It makes it way worse. Everybody's been there where it's like, no, don't do it. And then you just like burst out crying. Like, girl, allow yourself to feel those things. If you're feeling angrier than usual, feel those emotions, process them. Don't hold them back or else it's gonna, be unleashed on the person that least deserves it. If you're feeling sadder than usual, like that's okay. Like, let's lean into those emotions. Let's do a little self-care. Let's show a little self-love to help us process these things. Key to managing PMSing here is don't avoid it, don't ignore it, or it will be like a bad habit. If it's something that we're gonna have to deal with every single month, we might as well make our life a little bit easier and be aware of our habits, our routines, and what our body goes through. I think as a woman, honestly, it's very powerful and very smart to be aware of your body, to be knowledgeable of your body, to know what is going on, what cycle you're in, to take care of it. I think it's pretty easy as a woman to kind of like want to forget about those things, especially when there's like pain involved or negative emotions. Like you don't want to necessarily address those things. But I do think there is a power and self-love that comes from simply understanding yourself and your body. Tips to spice up sex life in long-term relationship. Love from Europe. Oh, hey girly, I want to come visit you. I want to be in Europe. My parents are going this summer and I'm like, fuck. I'm very jealous. I feel like they should send me on a Europe trip, considering how much I watch their dog. It is basically my dog at this point. Like if you're gonna get a child, you need to watch your own child. I love her dearly, but my God. Spicing up your sex life. Yes, I have many tips and tricks. I think the biggest piece of advice I can give anybody in a relationship that's like, I don't really know what like happened to like the sex we're having. Sex is not a chore. Sex is not a chore. Sex is a reason for you and your partner to forget about the chaos of the world and indulge in pleasure of each other. Sex is kind of like an escape, and it's a healthy, it can be negative, it should be a healthy escape. I think a lot of people's sex drives die in long-term relationships when you get into the routines, when you get into the chaos of life, when it feels like a chore because you have so much shit going on. It's not going to be fun. If you're like, well, I have to have sex, like that's not going to be the most fun sex you've ever had. Nor do I feel like you should feel pressured to feel that way in any sort of capacity. Sex is an escape tactic for you and your partner to engage in mutual pleasure. Remember that. I think that mindset really helps kind of bring that spark back. Like, oh yeah, like it should be fun. Like we should be going at it for like hours. Like we should be just like seeing each other and wanting to rip each other's clothes off. Like, yeah. And if you're not feeling that way, like that's okay. Life gets crazy. Start fantasizing a little bit. Okay. Start fantasizing a little bit. Start being like, ooh, like where do I want to do it next? Like what do I want him to do to me? Like, you know, maybe send him like a flirty little text in the middle of the day, a flirty little picture in the middle of the day, you know, spice it up, start early. Don't do it like 10 minutes beforehand. That's not enough time for foreplay. Like start it in the morning, like kiss him goodbye and be like, I can't wait to see you later. I don't know. But like do something, you know, a little flirty fun and then give it time to build up. Get time to get excited for both of you guys. Go to a sex store together. I talk about this a lot. Go to a sex store together. Go look at things. Go be like, ooh, maybe I should try this lingerie. Maybe we should try this lube. Maybe we should try this toy. All fun things to involve in your sex life. And men should not view sex toys as competition. Girl, that is your shield as you are going into battle. That is your sword. That is your steed that you are riding into this major war that's going to happen. I don't know where I'm going with this, but it is your companion, okay? Men who feel like sex toys are competition, like the best way that you can kind of like break that stigma in their head is to involve it, and then for them to see, no, like this is just another way to give my partner pleasure. Like this is just another way for our enjoyment to be a better experience. So go to adamandeve.com, go to a sex store, go try fun little things, spice it up, maybe get a pair of handcuffs and get freaky. If there's one thing you need to do this year, it's have more good sex. Good sex. Emphasis on the good, not just have more sex. Okay, that's easy. Try to have better sex. How to stay sane with all the natural disasters going on. Ooh, oh my God. Prayers to all my baddies out in California, in LA. That is fucking insane and so scary. And I'm so sorry you're having to go through all of that. If there's anything you need, please do not hesitate to reach out. I have been sharing like aid efforts in the area, whether it is like shelters to go to, animal shelters, clothing drives. I love seeing everybody come together. It does give me hope, like in the wake of disaster, to see community truly form itself. I do think LA has a incredible community base, and the fact that everybody is coming together to help each other is very inspiring. I think it's good. It's important to take like the good out of the bad sometimes, but it is so shocking and so insane just how quickly the wildfires spread. Like in minutes, in seconds, it was overtaking acres, and it is just heartbreaking. And I am so sorry for anybody who has been affected by these fires. I think a big thing that a lot of people our age is like, I don't want to have kids. Like, I don't know if we're going to be alive in the future. Like global warming, like I genuinely don't know. And the more I'm alive and the more things that I'm seeing, the more valid that is becoming, because it is a real thought, you know, and I'm glad that people our age are smart enough to actually think these decisions through. Like, congratulations. I think a lot of people just have kids and don't think about how insane having a kid is and how hard it is and how much dedication that it requires. So if you're the person who's like, well, I don't know because of this, like, thank you for being a well-formed individual and actually wanting to provide the best that you possibly can. But when it comes to just generalized anxiety about future occurrences, natural disasters, wars, whatever it may be that you just have like anxiety about, I think the best thing that you can do to ease that anxiety is to live as truly and as fully as you possibly can every single day. To appreciate the home that you do live in, to appreciate what you are given, to appreciate, you know, oh, that shitty job that you got to go to, or to appreciate, you know, where you are now, even if you feel like you're over it, you've outgrown it. Still, one day you are going to be looking back, you know, 5-10 years in the future, and you will see it in a new light and you will miss it. I have this quote for you guys, actually. It says, you will miss this in 5 or 10 years. Memory will smooth these circumstances down like a river stone, and you will find yourself longing for a shade of light or a moment of this particular innocence. You don't know about what happens next, and one day that will be the most alluring thing of all. Don't leave it all for nostalgia. Have a nice night now, whatever night it happens to be. I truly think that is one thing that really helped my generalized anxiety condition and anxiety about the future. When I was younger, I have a little bit less will to live, and that put me into some crazy situations, and I said yes to a lot of things, but I would be lying if I said I was not truly living my life the most that I could every single day. Sometimes a little too much. Like, we could cut back a little bit, girl. You didn't need to go through all those things. But it really taught me about like freedom and the freedom of choice and the freedom of inspiration. And even if it's like a hard fucking time right now, wherever you are, trying to find the light in the moments that you do have, trying to make the most of a good time if it is a good time. So when the hard times do come, you have those memories to look back on. You have that appreciation for not taking advantage of the time that you did. So when you're 80, 90, 100 and you're on your deathbed, you aren't regretting not living your life. The best thing you can do to ease those anxieties of the future is to live your life to the fullest now, whatever that looks like. I'm not saying like drop out of school, quit your job and get into crazy credit card debt. Like, no, girl, you can find peace and happiness in a cup of 20-cent tea in the morning. You can find peace and happiness in your 5-minute drive to work in the morning. You have to open your eyes up to the appreciations of those possibilities and attempt to seek joy in every moment that approaches you. All right, fuck it. Since today's a little bit of like a silly episode, let me smoke earlier than I usually would. I've been trying not to smoke in the mornings, not like it's a New Year's resolution or anything, but today's for the girls, and sharing a smoke with the girls always heals me. So let's hit this. Cheers. How do I take a tea break? I feel like I'm going insane. This, I guess, is perfect timing. How do you take a tea break? Okay. I've taken many a tea breaks in my life and I highly recommend them, especially if you feel like you're feeling out of control in some sort of way. And you can take a tolerance break from anything. You can take a tolerance break from alcohol, from sex, from boys, from spending money. Whatever you need to take a tolerance break from, girl, take it. If you feel like you need to, it is a sign to do so. I understand though, this is regarding weed, so let's get into it. Let's see, I've taken a tea break because I got way too high. And funny thing is, you would think like getting way too fucking high makes you more used to it or able to handle it better. No, 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 no. If anything, it made my highs from there on out like scary, like horror movie scary, like high anxiety scary. So I had to take a tea break probably for 6 months after like my really bad edible trip. I've also taken a tea break because I was in college and I could not smoke and focus at the same time. It was either like full on stoner or full on student. There was no in between. So I took a semester break from weed during that time as well. And both of which I don't regret at all. I don't regret it at all. I don't think anybody you ask who has been on a tea break has ever regretted it, because you come back feeling so refreshed, more understanding of yourself, stronger in yourself because you stuck to your goals and actually achieved them. And it doesn't have to be months like mine was. It could be a week. It could be a couple weeks. It could be a couple days. Whatever you need, take it. Okay. Now, if you really want to do a tea break right, I do recommend at least a week or more. I think it takes, probably the human brain at least 2 weeks to fully get into a new routine, and not be freaked out by change. So if you're having a hard time, yeah, it's going to be hard within the first 2 weeks. Your brain doesn't know what's going on. It's not a you problem. It is a routine problem. And this thing, let's face it, was a big part of your routine. And anything missing from your routine, your brain's going to start kind of like freaking out or being like, what are you doing? Where's my substance? What are you doing? What are you doing? And the best way to get that voice in your head to go away, and I hate to say it, is to stay busy. You have to stay so fucking busy. Like so busy, you don't have time to think. I'm talking pick up that extra shift. Work a double. You're going home after work? No, you're not. You better make plans. You better go to the gym. I don't care where you're going. Do not go home and sit on that couch next to that bong that you want to hit. Of course, you're probably going to give in. Of course, the voices are going to be louder. You have to stay busy. Not only will you kind of be distanced from those thoughts because you honestly just don't have time, but when you do finally get home at the end of the day, you're going to be too fucking tired. And sure, you're going to lay your head down on that little pillow and you're going to go, damn, I really want a bowl. And then in a split second, you're going to be asleep, full 8 hours in bed. That truly is the only way I have been able to stay sane during my tea breaks. Now, I've done tea breaks where it's like I still have weed around me, I still have bongs around me, and I'm at home. Best believe I was so incredibly tortured during that time. And so if you can save yourself from being tortured by just staying busy, accomplishing goals, doing tasks, running errands, seeing friends, whatever it may be, in order to get through, it will make the whole process more fulfilling. And along the way, you'll pick up a couple good hobbies and habits that will probably transform your life in a pretty positive way. Now, I will give one little PSA, little warning to those who are going into a tolerance break. The dreams are going to come back at full force and they're going to be pretty insane. Thus, you need to tire yourself out so you are fully getting into a deep sleep, able to stay asleep. Because the dreams are crazy when you stop smoking. They're vivid. They feel real. The worst dreams I've ever had have been when I stopped smoking. Not to fearmonger. Like, I don't think you need to be that scared of it. It's just if you are restless, I feel like your dreams are going to be more vivid. You're not going to be able to enter those deep sleeps anymore. So if you can tire yourself out, I do think it helps with the crazy dreams. But do be warned, they are not signs from God. they are just weed withdrawals. I promise you. But yeah, if you're thinking of doing it, I highly, highly, highly encourage. I think there's nothing negative that you will gain out of this experience. It is only positives. And if you're feeling like you need to do it, it's because you probably need to do it. Can we talk dating yourself? Ooh, yes, absolutely. We definitely can. I think a lot of people are too focused dating other people in order to learn more about themselves, when really you can learn that plus more by just dating yourself. And not only will dating yourself make you understand yourself, but it will make you choose better partners in the future because you're more understanding and willing to put boundaries in place. Oop. I think dating yourself is so important, especially for my girlies who are in their 20s, young 20s, any 20s. Like, if you have not taken the time to truly and utterly focus on yourself, you need to do so now. Like, please, PSA, it's okay to focus on yourself. You are not scary. It's just because you don't know who you are. And if you don't feel comfortable with yourself, it's probably because you don't know who you are. Unfortunately, no one's going to tell that to you. No therapist is going to be able to hand you a spreadsheet of like, all right, here's your top personalities. You have to do it through experiencing yourself through the world. I know. How terrifying. Are you kidding me? Luckily, that is literally the answer. Like, you're like, Hannah, what's the answer? Girl, get out there, date yourself, forget about these fucking men, stop losing yourself in random relationships, random situationships, random hookups, stop losing yourself in bad friendships, stop losing yourself in bad habits and substances, and get raw and real with who the fuck you are. I had to do that after my whole Molly phase, my whole party girl era, where I felt like I definitely, looking back, had a lot of fun, definitely was running from myself, was terrified of that, had no idea who I was, very easy to escape into substances. Well, once I stopped cold turkey, I sat down and I looked at myself and I was like, who is she? Who the fuck is she? Like, that's not me. I don't feel like that's me. Who is she? Usually that would scare me. When I felt this a couple times in my life, but I also felt it at like 16, 17 when I came out of my like years long depression. I was like, ooh, I don't know who that girl in the mirror is. I was more scared at that time than I was in my early 20s. So very thankful for being brave during that time and just facing the fear head on. Listen, you're going to feel a lot of fear in your life. The last thing you need to feel fear about or let fear control you about is yourself. There is power in knowing yourself. The same way I talked about, like, there's power in knowing your body and how it works and how it functions. There is power in knowing who you are and understanding who you are. Not only will it make you more confident approaching the world around you, the world around you will feel more able to approach you. You'll feel more approachable. You'll be more willing to go after things that you never would have thought of to probably get further in life because you're willing to simply try because you have that trust in yourself. You're probably going to make way better connections because you're willing to understand like what you will and won't settle for, to understand what a good relationship is, what relationships work for you, what habits, what hobbies inspire you and drive you. You're going to be able to have that important judgment that there is when it comes to interacting with people. It is the most powerful tool on this planet. And if you have not taken time to dedicate at least a little bit of time to yourself, now is the moment to do so. Listen, I'm giving you the okay. I'm giving you the go ahead. You don't have to be that people pleaser. It's not selfish of you to think of yourself. And I am so thankful for the work I did put in, because best believe it was scary. I was like, ooh, I'm nervous. Like, who is she? What's going on? Like, what am I going to get into? And it took some like weird growing pains and figuring things out and losing people and gaining people and trying new jobs. I went through so many different phases during that period of time. But now I feel so closer to who I am and just so much more confident because of it. Any sort of hard work you put into yourself will always pay off and will always be worth it. Trust and understand that during the hard times. And what's beautiful about life is like you are ever changing and ever growing. So there will always be new moments and opportunities to like be able to hone in on those skills and get further and gain even more knowledge and even more inspiration and courage. It truly is kind of like the fountain of youth in that way. Like, if you think about it, when you see those like 80-year-olds who are like so themselves, skipping around, not one care in the world, you're like, damn, like she must have had a good life. Yeah, she probably did because she knows herself. She knows what she wants, and I doubt she settled for less. 2025 is the year of dating yourself. Out are the situationships, girl. You're running from yourself, and there's nothing to hide, especially behind a man who is doing you dirty. That is the last person you should be hiding behind. And if you think about it, he's hiding from you because he doesn't know himself. There's so many negatives that can come out of not knowing yourself, putting yourself in bad situations, hurting people, just doing negative behaviors, engaging in negative activities, things that don't truly call to you, behaving in ways that aren't truly yourself. I feel like a lot of self-sabotage comes in here. A lot of demeaning behaviors, not only on yourself or other people, comes from not knowing who you are or just not liking yourself. But you can change that. There's always room for change. There's always room for growth. There is always room for development. There is always time to start dating yourself. Do so. What's your opinion on AI, specifically AI art? Hate. Hate, hate, hate. I hate it with every single fiber of my being. Are you kidding me? I'm tired of seeing it. I'm tired of companies thinking that they can get away with it. As soon as I see a company use AI art, they immediately lose every single penny that I was possibly going to spend there. Target was selling AI art Christmas bags. I'm like, I literally cannot go back there. Not that I thought it was really a good company at all, but there is like something to say about companies who are unwilling to hire professional artists to do their fucking job. Like, are you kidding me? It just shows that you are lazy, that you don't care about the consumer, and that you don't care about quality. And in my opinion, those are three things that are going to lose me spending money on them. I think it's important to also like think about where you're spending money, okay? Like, does this company actually deserve your hard-earned dollar? Like, girl, that Starbucks drink is the same price as an hour of your work. Do you agree with every single thing that this company is doing? Like, please think about it. You have to be aware, especially in a hyper-consumerism like country. I think companies feel that they have a right to your money, and I hate that. We have to take that stigma away. We have to start thinking and asking ourselves, like, do I really want to spend money here? Do they deserve my money? But yeah, I cannot fucking stand AI art. I mean, like the silly stuff where it's like, this is so bad that it's hilarious. Like, sure. Usually I only see that in the context of like them making fun of it, which is fine. But every single time I see it come up on my feed in any sort of way, or in real life in any sort of way that is framed in a serious manner, I legitimately like want to die. Like, it is the worst thing to ever see, especially as an artist. Like, it's so disheartening. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, the one major thing about being alive and being able to see colors and understand beauty is like what can come from it, and certain people's creative ability and how they can translate that and how beautiful that can be to connect to on like a human level. And you're stealing that away from us. Like, I want AI in my kitchen doing my dishes, doing my laundry, doing the things I don't want to do so I can make the art, not the other fucking way around. Ugh, literally, do not get me started. This is the one thing me and my Republican grandfather like agree on. I'll start complaining about AI art and like AI in general, and he's like, yeah, absolutely. I'm like, at least we're all on the same page here when it comes to that. Like, shit. If there's one thing I'm gonna bond over him with at Christmas, it's going to be our hatred of AI. This is random, but I just posted on Instagram today because it's the Cancer full moon. Posting some inspo for you all if you need it at Hannah Marlene. Wink, wink. Anyways, I love posting on Instagram because my following is 98% women. Yes, hello. Hi, girls. Love you. And every time I post, like, even if it's a post for the girls, not that I ever post for guys in general, but like, any sort of post I do, it will bring out the men from the woodworks, whether it's through like a comment And I will block you. Yes, I will. I will. I love it. I'm like one less strange, weird, sexualizing straight male in my space. Thank God. Thank God. Thank you for showing yourself. Low key, not a question, but I need your Spotify playlist, please. They must be such a vibe. You know what? One of like a YouTube videos I've been wanting to make for a while is like Sesh and listen to music with me, like session favorite songs right now. But if you want to listen to what I'm listening to, you can look me up on Spotify, like my personal account. It's just Smoke Sesh. If you look it up, it'll be like me in a bunny hat from 2020 lockdown era. It's so cute though. I'm like, we'll leave her up. She was such a vibe at the time. But my playlist that I'm listening to right now is titled Finally. Some highlights from the playlist right now. I usually just make like one playlist a year or 2 playlists a year, and I just throw every single song that I'm listening to in that playlist during that period of time. I do not make curated playlists based on vibe, although I do love them. I like to go back to playlists and listen to all of the music I was listening to like during a specific era of my life. I feel like it's so nostalgic and so nice. So keep in mind, no organization at all, other than this is the vibe I'm on. But some songs that I've been listening to: Oh My Love by FKA Twigs, Like Smoke, Amy Winehouse. I do really love Scorsese Baby Daddy off SZA's new album. Love Is Everywhere, Magdalena Bay. A World Alone by Lorde. Oh my god, not me in my emo era, not me in my 2016 era. Followed by Don't Stop the Music, Rihanna. Yeah. Call Me, Kali Uchis, Everything She Wants, Wham. Young Hearts Run Free, Candy Staten. Many, many more. I will be adding more onto that list. That will probably be my like 2025 playlist, but if you want to go listen to it, it's titled Finally, and my username is SmokeSash, one word. Some simple manifestation rituals. Struggling to find the balance with work. Not necessarily manifestation, but I do have a good luck spell for you all because my boyfriend was going through it. Car got stolen, got a new car 2 days later, broken in, everybody at work being an asshole. I think just USPS system kind of sucks. Question mark. Didn't know there was this much drama within the postal service, which fucking, it kills me. Like, they need a reality TV show for sure. But I was just feeling so bad, and I needed to go get crystals for my nephew because he's in this like, he's like 4 and he's in this era where he loves dragons and loves crystals, like rocks. Duh, what kid doesn't fucking love rocks? So I'm like, let me be the witchy aunt I am, and let me go to the metaphysical shop down the road from me. If you need a good one in Kansas City, I go to Aquarius Books and Gifts. Honestly, love them. Fantastic, super sweet, super nice, will answer any question you have. They usually have like some sort of tarot reader there every single day, and has been around forever. But I went there to like not only get pretty rocks for my nephew, and simultaneously like get him rocks that will bring him like prosperity and peace and, you know, creative ability and just selflessness, things like that. But I also went there to build a good luck like talisman bag for my boyfriend. One great thing you can do is a money bowl. I love a money bowl. You just make a bowl, green bowl, altar space where you can, you know, make it a place where you put money, put affirmations, put herbs, put spices towards your finances. But luck, I think, is important because it's something that you can carry around with you everywhere. So personally, I got him just like a little black satin bag. You know, they sell them to put the crystals in. And then I filled it with cinnamon. I filled it with black salt. I filled it with bay leaves, which I wrote down just like good luck sigils on and prosperity and words of affirmation. I also had some mint bags that I put in there. Cinnamon just attracts protection. It speeds up spells. Basil attracts courage, luck, abundance. Mint attracts money and luck. Salt is very purifying, but specifically the black salt was for protection and to ward off like the evil eye. I put a little jade piece in there, which reverses bad fortune, brings luck and especially love in. I put some tourmaline quartz, I think is what it's called, which clears barriers and makes potential things possible, opens up your future to positive possibilities. And then adventurine, which is a stone of luck when taking chance in life or like in competition. I tied it up. I prayed over it for a second, blessed it with some incense of choice, and then it gave it to him to carry in his bag every single day. I do think it genuinely has helped. And if you can make a little good luck talisman for yourself, I think it's a healthy ritual to kind of take a moment to pray over yourself and manifest a little bit what you do need to bring into your life. So his was to like ward off the evil eye, to bring in luck, prosperity, to get rid of any sort of like negative attachment that he does have, which is making these crazy things happen in his life. I love a spell for that reason. I think it really garners hope. And truly does work. Like, don't knock it till you try it, babe. And don't start with the evil ones, such as like making people fall in love with you. Start with yourself. Start with bringing luck and prosperity to yourself. Smoker skincare routine. Listen, I talk a lot about skincare routines, especially being like an acne girly. And I'm not saying that in the way of like, oh, you know, I just get like one pimple a month. No. I'm talking deep, scarring, cystic acne. And when it comes to smoking, my acne has never been worse than when I was smoking nicotine. I know, not the smoking you probably were thinking of or wanting to hear about. I looked 50 fucking years old, and I had been smoking for 3-4 years, and I was probably 22. I should have been looking young. Why did I look so drained and gross and deep acne everywhere? What was going on? It was the nicotine. I hate to break it to you girls, it truly is. It has nothing but negatives to give you. It's going to kill your lungs. It's going to kill your skin. There's nothing to gain from it. I was smoking cigarettes, and then I was also at one point in time smoking like a Juul or whatever. Basically the OG vape. Like, we didn't have all the fun different flavors and stuff that you can get at gas stations now. Literally, it was like 4 different flavors. You better enjoy one of them. I loved that Juul. It was like surgically attached to my hip. I'm talking probably going through a pod every couple days. Genuinely have never looked worse. Now, I haven't smoked nicotine for probably at least 4 years. At least 4 years. I would say I fully quit by like 22. I was still hitting it here and there while I was 21. Quitting was hard, sure, but the payoff, the beautiful skin, the glowingness, the energy, the lack of needing to fund this addiction, the payoff was so worth it. So worth it. If you have awful skin and you're hitting your nicotine constantly, I hate to break it to you, girl, a major part of it is the nicotine. Now, when it comes to weed, I know a joint is like hot and sexy and so cute, even like a bong rip. But if you let smoke linger too close to your skin constantly, naturally it's going to get irritated and naturally it's going to get infected, start breaking down. Like, I love a joint, so sexy, fantastic, but the smoke really lingers in your area. Unless you're in like a well-ventilated place or outside where it can just easily blow away, it will break you out. It will. Bong rip is a little better. You know, you can kind of contain it or blow it away from you. Pipes still pretty bad because you're lighting it so close to your face and all the smoke is lingering so close to your face. It does have an effect on your skin. I hate to break it to you girlies. I know. I love a joint. She's so sexy. She's so cute. But also, I know she's an occasional acquaintance. Simply for the sake of my skin. Oh my God. Does stick size really matter? ... He has 3 inches. I mean... It's all subjective. You know, you can work with it if it's something that you want to work with. Do you know what I mean? I think the whole dick size conversation is not about like the micros and more about like the average. And let's be honest, I think women prefer an average size dick. Let's be fucking honest. Like, I can't take a 13-incher every single night of my life. I'm going to be physically torn in half. That doesn't sound fun. All right. I mean, maybe that's your style of fun. And listen, there's somebody out there for everybody. Okay. But generally, I think most women prefer average. Okay. Like, if you think about it, like anatomically, all right, put your lab coat on, girls. The vaginal canal is only so deep. Also, foreplay is important because I think when you don't get enough foreplay, like naturally the vaginal canal will expand a little bit if you are like horny enough. Okay, it's your body preparing for sex. Like, your body knows what's about to happen, but if you don't give it adequate enough time, it can be a little painful because your body hasn't had time to adjust yet, whether it's opening up your heart and soul in your pussy or if it's getting wet enough. Foreplay is important nonetheless. You know, the average size vaginal canal is probably the average size of an average dick. Okay, so it works for us girls. We're not asking for size. Big doesn't matter, period. Now, when it comes to the smaller ones, you know, we love everybody. We love what you got. Fantastic. There is no shame at all. It is all about how you use it. Because I've known girls who have dated men with like 2, 3, 4 inches, but like they gave head constantly. They cared about pleasure. They were still receiving pleasure in their sexual adventures. So there was fulfillment there. It didn't matter. It truly is all about if you can work with what you got. So does size truly matter? No. But also, if he is trying to fuck you with a tiny penis and is not caring about if you get off or not, then yeah, size does matter. All right, like, she's got to get off. You got to get off, girl. If you're having a good time, have your good time with whatever size penis that finds you. But please, pleasure is important. Make sure you're finding pleasure no matter the size. Today's episode feels like OG Smoke Sesh. I was so off the rails back in like my first few episodes, just because of like I was unemployed and the amount of dabs I was taking in a day, and I was just getting out of my party girl era. So the Molly was still mollying in my poor little brain, and I did not have one single care in the world. Like, fully and openly talked about anything. Chaos. I'm trying to get back there. Not that I had any shame or didn't want to in any point or way. I just feel like I kind of got into the therapy aspect of it all, which is super fun. And I love that we can all connect in that sort of way. But also, like, now more than ever, do we need a little fucking laugh? Speaking of, what's your favorite Smoke Sesh moment? If you're an OG girly, you'll remember when the abortion ban was placed in Missouri. Let me think, probably like 2021, 2022. And I remember at the time I was staying at my boyfriend's house and I didn't want to drive all the way back to my apartment to record because it was like 30 minutes away. So I was like, fuck it. Let me just sit in my car and record this podcast outside of his house. And as I was recording the podcast, like, oh my God, I can't believe, passionately giving this speech about women's rights and how much we deserve, like, just bodily autonomy. I look over and there is a child in a window, like on the bottom floor, like pushing back the curtains. He's standing in the window staring at me, chewing on a hanger. I was like, if this is not a sign from God, like, he's chewing on a hanger. Hello. That has probably been my funniest moment of Smoke Sesh. If you have like a favorite moment, send it to me. I would love to hear your favorite Smoke Sesh moment. But there's been some crazy times in this podcast, and I'm so glad that we've been able to experience them together. How to get over someone when there's no closure. Your closure is they didn't care enough about you to actually give you a reason why. Oop. Hello. They'll be like, they didn't properly say goodbye to me, because they don't care, babe. And I really hate to break it to you, but I think the hard news will make it easier to get over. Speaking of, how to accept when people don't like you without getting an explanation. People do not deserve you an explanation of why they don't like you. Also, the last thing you need to hear is a full-blown, 14-page document of why someone hates your guts, because no matter what they say, it's going to make you feel bad. When in reality, did you actually probably do something bad? No. I feel like when people genuinely do something bad, people are willing to express like, hey, I don't like the way you did this. And like, thank you for that. We'll heal, we'll grow. But when people just don't like you for who you are, usually there won't be that conversation because there's truly nothing to pinpoint other than just like, I don't like you. And that's okay. You don't have to be liked by everybody. In fact, I challenge you not to be just like a dick to everybody around you. Please don't do that. All right. No one is deserving of that kind of behavior. But if someone's just not fitting into the natural flow of who you are, if you try and force it, it's never going to go right. So you might as well just allow people to appreciate you for who you are. And if they can't do that, then maybe they just don't deserve your space. Maybe they just don't deserve your time. Maybe they don't deserve to be around you. It is no hard feelings. Nothing wrong with either of you. The old Hannah would be like, most people are dumb and fucking stupid, so of course they don't like you. It's a problem with them, not you. Which, I mean, you can take that advice as well. But the fact of the matter is, not everybody's gonna like you, and it doesn't inherently make you a bad person. It just makes you human. Scared I'll never find a man. I'm in third year college and hoped I'd find someone by now. I don't know if many people, I mean, of course, like the normal story you hear is, oh, we met in college and now we're married. Sure, that does happen. But in reality, like, did any of my friends meet someone in college and marry them? No, no one has. And they're hot, sexy, successful women. So don't think that it's a you problem. Unfortunately, maybe the dating pool is just bad, and maybe most men are sluts and don't want to marry right now. And listen, you let them be sluts, all right? Focus on you, do you. The right man will fall into the place at the right time. Anyways, happy Capricorn season to all my Capricorn girlies. You guys are so hardworking, so inspirational. I'm a Capricorn moon, so like I feel you. And if you need one piece of advice this season, it's be kind to yourself. The best way to be a successful worker is to be positive and not negative. Trust me, if anybody knows this, it's me. And I know your tendency to be self-indulgent in negative behaviors to garner inspiration. You don't have to suffer to succeed, I promise you. But I love the Capricorns, the girls especially, the men, a little testy. Why are you trying me like that? I dated a Capricorn man. He was the most miserable person I've ever met in my entire life. Anyways, truly, you guys are go-getters. You are hard workers. You are achievers. You can make anything you want capable and possible in your life. That's kind of the one gift you are blessed with. So even if you're not a Capricorn and you maybe want to see where you're going to find a little bit more inspiration, look into your chart where Capricorn falls. Learn that chart. Learn how it's going to be affected during this time. Learn where maybe you're going to find a little bit more luck and hardworking abilities in what area of your life. But anybody can draw from the seasons, from the inspirations of the seasons, and I highly recommend you do so. Listen, if I'm going to live this life, I'm going to live it in a little bit more whimsy and a little bit more understanding of myself. I don't care if you're an astrology hater. I'm sorry that you hate fun, but also there is something to take from it. And if it makes you a better person, then I don't think you're doing anything wrong. That's for sure. Capricorn season is all about growth, change, achievement, financial stability. I promise you will get there during this time. Also, with the Cancer full moon, please remember to take care of yourself. Show a little extra self-love during this time. Try and get as much sleep as you possibly can. Remember, you can't achieve those big goals, those big dreams, all of the hard work that you do want to do if you are not caring for yourself. The energy is derived from where? From you. So make sure you are energized, well taken care of, and willing to go out and achieve everything that you possibly want during your day. But with that being said, I love you all so very much. Happy Tuesday. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. If you want your question answered and you want to come hang out on the Patreon, patreon.com/smokeseshshawty. Uploaded a Cancer full moon writing on there. I'll be doing some weekly inspiration. I do our podcast every Thursday, and then I usually like to do some sort of spiritual Sunday where we talk journal prompts, astrology, spirituality, whatever it might be that can garner a little bit more metaphysical inspiration. I like to share that during that time. But come hang out. We have so much fun over on the Patreon. And if you want to see what I'm up to, follow the instagram.com/Hannah Marlene. Oh, and I guess the Spotify too. Spotify is just Smoke Sesh, one word, if you want to hear my latest playlist. Girl, I'm working on it. Don't judge. But it's titled Finally. I don't know why I titled it that. It just is what it is. Whatever calls to me. When you see my long list of playlists, you'll be like, oh, there's no organization. But yeah, check me out on all my socials. Stay tuned with what we got going on. Stay sexy, stay sane, and I'll see you all next Tuesday. Mwah.